Today, journeying along with me while I give a complete Princess Diaries makeover to my ugly bedside table. Look how 90s veneered chic it is. I'm going to make it more regal and timeless. So the first thing I decided to do with this table was ditch the old cheapo veneered honey oak top and build a new top out of, real wood. So I had to take the legs and table base and detach them from the top. I decided to keep the legs and base of the table because the legs are definitely of a timeless style and beauty. Just like your mom. So I had to take all of that apart, which was a real pain, and I almost broke the table base when hammering it off because it was glued down. But I managed to get it done without breaking the wood or my hand. I actually found this table in an attic, so it has cost me $0 to redo so far, and it's going to get the Joan Rivers facelift treatment from me. Rest in peace. Right here you can see me measuring the old top of the bedside table. I'm going to make the new top a bit smaller than the old one because it was a little bulky. For my new top, I decided to use this very sexy acacia butcher block top that I stole from my sister when she was building her new house. She stole the joy from my childhood because I wanted to be an only child. So now I steal things from around her house. Mainly snacks, but sometimes $300 acacia wood butcher block tops. Here I'm measuring and marking out the dimensions of the top. I use a big T-square to draw my lines for cutting, and then I attach my circular saw guide to the wood so I can cut a perfectly straight line. This piece was too big to run through my table saw all by myself. So, a saw guide worked just fine. This acacia is really dense and hard to cut. It's harder than I was waking up every morning in junior high. So because I'm recycling the base of this bedside table and have made the new acacia tabletop smaller than the old one, I had to also make the whole base of the table smaller to fit and match the top. I really didn't think this through because disassembling, making smaller, and reassembling all of the little parts of the base took this project from a simple furniture makeover to a full-on custom job. But after some designing and cussing and cursing the gods, I got it all put back together. Back to the top of the bedside table. I decided to add a nice design touch by using my router and a cove bit to create a more finished and traditional look to the tabletop. It's such an easy way to make you look like a really good woodworker instead of whatever it is that I am. Who am I? Where did I come from? What does all this mean? Are we living in a simulation? So back to the base. Now that I have it all put back together, I'm using 220 grit sandpaper to prepare the table base for priming and painting. That looks a little dirty. Now I'm sanding the bedside tabletop with 220 grit sandpaper, and after 220 grit, you can go even higher than that to get baby butt smoothness. I like a very smooth tabletop. So because I took apart the whole table base in order to make it smaller, some parts were glued down and I had to absolutely destroy them with a hammer to get them to come off. Because of that, I had to make new sections of the table base. The sections I'm making right now help to attach the tabletop to the table base and will not be visible when it's all put together. Drilling pilot holes ensures that I will get a tight fit when screwing these connection blocks to the table base. Attaching these little blocks to the table base was kind of a pain, but what isn't when you're doing a bit of woodworking? Come to think of it, woodworking isn't really even that fun. What am I doing with my life? But really, making and rehabbing things yourself is so much more fulfilling than just buying something. You get to recycle an old piece of furniture and keep it from being dumped in a landfill, and you get new learning experiences every time you do a project. My motto is to be a creator more than you are a consumer. Now we get to the fun and satisfying part of this project. I have my bedside table base sanded and cleaned, so it's time for painting. But first, I need to prime the base before I can paint it. I won't bore you to death watching me prime. Actually, I will. It's gonna be a priming montage. While I let the primer dry on the table base, it's time for another fun part of this project where I apply the finish for the tabletop. For this particular project, I decided to use Danish oil, which is a blend of a bunch of stuff and gives this butcher block top more of a hand-rubbed traditional look. I used 2 coats, and the good thing about Danish oil is that you can apply with a rag, and you can keep adding more coats through the years if your table starts looking old and worn out. Danish oil is different from using polyurethane to protect wood because it doesn't sit on top of the wood as you build up more coats. I'm a big fan of oil-based poly for lots of different applications, but I decided to go with the Danish oil with a dark walnut stain added on this. I will say one drawback to Danish oil is that it smells worse than a 15-year-old dog's anal glands, and it takes a very long time to cure and be safe to put it in your house, but so do a lot of other finishes. That's just the nature of woodworking and finishing furniture. We always need to be aware of those harmful VOCs and how they can damage your body. Now that the tabletop is finished, I can finally paint the table base. I went with an heirloom white color from Rust-Oleum. And no, Rust-Oleum doesn't sponsor this channel. This channel is sponsored by Shitty Wok. Shitty Wok offers the best Chinese food in the South Park and greater Denver area. So come on in and enjoy a relaxing and exotic dining experience. Also, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Honest Brothers, as well as follow our Instagram and TikTok at Honest Brothers Official. So one final last step to this project is to attach the bedside table base to the tabletop. I used screws inside of the little connection blocks I made earlier to do this. And finally, I'm finished. Yay! With a little effort and planning, I was able to transform this old, very 90s veneered-looking bedside table into a sleek, traditional, and timeless-looking functional accent piece for my bedroom. I'm pretty happy with it. Hope you liked this video, and maybe it inspired you to give a makeover to one of your old pieces of furniture. Okay, bye!